guys, what's up? It's Bella. So, if you're new to my channel, you'll be like, what is this video? Around the holidays, which is Christmas and January, my birthday, I usually make a story time video that is themed differently. So, last year's theme was awkward stories, and this year's theme is weird date stories. I'm going to say a few things before we first start. One, this is a very chill video, and there's not much fancy editing or cinematography involved, so if you're not down for that, just get out. Also, I'm going to be releasing an interview with my friend Sean Kavanaugh, who is an actor. He keeps asking me like every day, like, when is the video going to come out? Don't worry, it's going to be coming out next week. Also, I'm going to be releasing an interview with a bunch of small YouTubers, so if you're one of those people I interviewed, don't worry, it's coming in the next 2 weeks. I saw this thing on Facebook that was like, being gay is like a job because you either do it online or get referred by a friend. I think that is so true. And in this case, it was online that I met the girl. And the date was going really well, and she asked me at the end of it when I was about to drop her off at her house, she was like, do you want to make out? And I was like, yeah. And she like started going in for the kiss, but I had a mint in my mouth. So I was like, oh shit, like, what am I gonna do with this mint? So I just like rolled down the window. I just kind of like push it away for a second. I'm like, wait, I have some mint in my mouth. And I like just take it out and like throw it out the window. And I just look at her and she's like, that was awkward. She just leaves. And then I don't like get to make out with her. She just leaves. This is the part of the dating experiences where my friend Allison and Isaac fear for my safety, like legit. These are hilarious stories to tell. Some of them, I find them hilarious, and so do my friends. But my closest friends just like, they just fear for my safety. And I have a friend who's always like, where do you find all these weird guys? And I'm like, I don't know, I just attract like weird people, I guess, because I'm weird. Shout out to my friend Reagan, who knows some really weird guys that I've either talked to online or like gone on dates with, or almost gone on dates with, like this guy. He was gonna take me hiking in like the middle of the night after we had dinner at a fancy restaurant. And I'd never met him before, so I was a little bit sketched out. I was like, yeah, we probably shouldn't go hiking, especially because it's our first date, I don't really know you. But he was like, no, we're gonna go hiking. I'll take you to this really fancy Mongolian restaurant. I'm like, all right. And I'm like, I like text him beforehand. And at this point, I was like, yeah, maybe if it goes well, we'll go hiking, but I'm not really sure about that, especially since the hiking place was Provo Canyon, which, if anyone's familiar with Ted Bundy, that's where he killed his female victims, which I found out later on. But it's also a popular dating spot where like you can see all the lights in the city, so yeah. But beforehand, he was like, so you're gonna wear pajamas, right? And here's the screenshots, so you know I'm not lying. He literally was like wanting me to wear pajamas to a fancy restaurant that I looked up online before, and they wouldn't have let us in if we were wearing pajamas. So I was like, no, I don't have pajamas. And he was like, I'll just buy you some pajamas. And I was like, no. I'm like, actually, I'm sick. I don't want to go anymore. And then we never went. So this is the sketchiest date I've been on that's on this list. And it's a guy who I was friends with for a little while. Like, he was nerdy and we played video games and stuff like that, you know, normal stuff. And he like really liked me and he wanted to take me out. So I finally agreed to let him take me out. And it was right after I had gotten off class, which I had a Saturday class with a history class that lasted like all day. So I was starving because I hadn't eaten anything all day. So I was gonna take the train up to meet him, which was probably like a 30-minute train ride. And he said that he would be there by then, but no, he made me wait 2 hours for him in the burning hot sun for him to get his shit together and come and go on a date with me. You know, he begged me to come, and then he just was not there for like 2 hours, and he kept texting me and being like, I'm so sorry, like, I'm gonna be there soon, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, whatever, I'm starving, maybe we should just do this every time. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to McDonald's or something and like get some food. And finally he shows up. He had like showered and stuff like that, and I was like, come on, let's just fucking go. And we go, and I pay for myself. He makes me pay for myself, which is fine, like whatever, I don't care that much, but it was kind of like frustrating because he asked me out and I don't know, he like wanted to take me out so bad and then like maybe wait 2 hours, and it was kind of an expensive restaurant and he picked it, so I was a little bit pissed. But yeah, and then after I was taking the train home, and to get home to where my car was, which wasn't even at my house, I had to switch trains 3 times, which would take me about like an hour to get to where my car was from where we were. And he insisted that he escorted me to my car, which was weird. And I was like getting weird vibes from him like that day, and I got weird vibes from him like before that, but I'm nice and I want to give everybody a chance, I guess. Yeah, especially if they like me or something like that, or if they ask me out. I want to give them a chance. So I gave him a chance, and he was still creepy on the date. He escorted me back to my car, which was getting a little bit creepy on the train, like a little sketchy, because he kept trying to like put his arm around me and like sit like super close to me. And I was like, not really into him. Like, I wasn't into him, but I was not into that. Like, I wasn't down for that. So, I don't know if he, like, accidentally did this, or I don't know how you would accidentally touch someone's butt, but he touched my butt. And it could have been on accident, maybe, but I highly doubt it. So, we get to my stop, and it's dark, and I'm honestly worried about getting back to my car, like with him following me, because he wanted to follow me all the way to my car and like say goodbye or whatever, which was weird because you know where the Salt Lake layout, he lived like in North Salt Lake, and I lived on the way south side of Salt Lake. So where we were, which wasn't even at my house yet, was like an hour away from where he lived. Like maybe like an hour and 30 minutes away, because he lived further than the restaurant was. So we start walking to my car. I'm like, oh, you should really just go. Like, you're gonna miss your train. It's gonna be here in like 5 minutes. And he's like, no, I can just walk to your car. Which my car was at the very end of all the parking lots, so it would have taken, I don't know, longer. Maybe he would have had to sprint back to catch the train. So I don't know if he thought he was getting like laid in my car or something, or getting like a kiss, but obviously I wasn't into him, and if he had a brain, he maybe would have picked up on that, but I guess he didn't. And I wasn't too worried about it because I do have mace in my purse, but it was like a little bit creepy, you know? I'm sure you guys are yelling at me like, why didn't you just tell him to fuck off, like whatever, but I'm a very nice and shy person. I don't like confrontation. And I just am bad at telling people to fuck off. Especially when we were like basically alone on the platform. So we're walking my car, we start to cross the tracks on the other side that's like in the way of the parking lot. And luckily, the train comes in, not the one that he was gonna get on, but the other line that comes in there. And it was the same day that the BYU versus Utah football game was. And if you know anything about Utah, you know that's a huge rivalry. So a huge crowd of people comes off. He starts to look a little bit uncomfortable, and he like makes an excuse and gets on the train, even though it's literally going the wrong way. It's not the line he needs to be on. So I don't know, like, did he figure it out? Did he ever get home? I don't know, never talked to him again. So the last story I have to tell you will blow your fucking mind. As it has blown my mind many times, and my friends' times. Friends' brains times. My friends' brains' times. No! As it has blown my friends' brains many times. So I was friends with benefits with this guy for about 2 weeks. And I broke it off because I wasn't down for a relationship at that time. And especially because I didn't know him that well. Like, we were just friends before. I didn't have a crush on him. You know, I had my reasons. And he was really clingy too. And if I was gonna go into a relationship with someone, it wasn't gonna be someone who was clingy like that. There's a lot of weird things about him too, but I don't want to like violate his privacy by telling you all those. I can maybe mention one was that he asked me a lot about if he had sex with another man, but pretended that it was me. Was that gay? And with that, I was like, I don't know. I'm not like a gay guru or something. But the way that it was ended, it wasn't very pretty. Like, he was just really liked me, and I didn't feel the same way, and he was being a little bit creepy, so I had to block him. And here's the other background information for this story, is that there's a girl who I've known since I was in middle school. She lives in my town. She went to my middle school, my high school, and now she goes to my college. And she has single-handedly dated most of my exes besides girls that I dated, because she's straight. And I didn't really see this particular guy to be her type. Not that there's anything like wrong. Well, I mean, I don't like her, so I can say whatever I want. And she doesn't watch my videos, and I don't give a shit. But this guy was nerdy, pretty nerdy. Like, I can't see her dating somebody nerdy. She's one of those valley girls, if you know what that means. If you live in Utah or you know anything about Utah, she's a Utah Valley girl. Take that as you will. So I really couldn't see her dating this guy. But guess what? They date now. He like went out of his way to tell me that they were dating now, even though he knew about her. He knew, boy, he knew. But they fucking dating now. I think that is the most hilarious thing that has happened to me. That she's dated all these guys that I dated. Could have been coincidences, but now that I know that they are dating, I know it's not a coincidence. I know it's not a coincidence. So that, my dear friends, is the end of my story time. Have a Merry Christmas, and remember that you're very fortunate if you haven't been on any creepy, weird dates like me. And I might make a part 2 to this for my birthday or something like that. Just like this video if you want to see more videos like this or a part 2.